In this video, I'll share with you some simple and practical ways you can begin to differentiate the learning for your students. The best way is to start small and gain confidence in your practice. Be guided and informed by your students in what works for them, and look after yourself by not trying to do everything at once. Choose one strategy or practice and try it out with your students. Become comfortable using that before you move on to any other changes, and get some feedback from your students about the strategy so that you can assess the effectiveness for them. Do you struggle with differentiation in your classroom? Do you feel overwhelmed by the demands of what seems like different lessons for each of your students? You're not alone. Many teachers find differentiation difficult, and it makes sense because the constant challenge for teachers is finding that learning sweet spot for each of their students. Sometimes you'll hit it and other times you won't. There are some basic principles of differentiation that can help to reduce your workload and to ensure that you will address the learning needs of your students in more effective ways. And for the basic principles of differentiation, please check out our video on what is differentiation in the classroom. That will explain some of those concepts. My name's Maria Amaro, and I'm the principal presenter at The Highly Effective Teacher. I'm a teacher, and I've been working with students and supporting teachers for over 30 years. I'm passionate about teacher wellbeing, and I combine research and experience to provide strategies that improve teacher wellbeing, especially practices that take no extra teacher time. They can actually give you back time by working more effectively. I love coaching teachers so that they thrive in the teaching profession, not just survive. Improved teacher wellbeing means improved student wellbeing, and that contributes to better academic and social outcomes for all our students. If you'd like to learn more about teacher wellbeing, please subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so that you receive notifications of all our videos. When you subscribe, that helps to support the channel so that we can keep making these videos and get the information and support out to more teachers. As educators, you know that differentiation in the classroom is vital because your students are individuals who learn at different rates and in different ways. However, planning, programming and assessing for the wide variety of needs and interests of multi-age and multi-ability classes can be quite the challenge. I'm going to give you 10 ideas that can help you to cater to the learning styles, abilities and interests of your students by providing flexible and alternative learning experiences that are both engaging and motivating. Number one, small group lessons. Once you've given your whole class instruction, provide small group lessons to reinforce the learning and check for understanding. Give students the ability to opt in for these extra group work sessions and encourage your class to speak up if they don't understand. Recognise that students have strengths and weaknesses in different areas of learning, so that a student who's lacking literacy skills could also be very skilled in numeracy or art or music. Let students know that it's perfectly okay to join the small group sessions for additional support or extra explanation. Often, many of your students need little or no instruction to complete a learning task, so that means you can give small instruction only to the students who really need it, which is usually about 20% of your class. And small group instruction can be highly interactive, which gives students immediate feedback, and that enhances their learning as well as identifying any misunderstandings and misconceptions that they may have in real time. Number two, encourage risk-taking. Model risk-taking for your students and making mistakes in front of them so that you create a culture of respect, empathy, and acceptance of difference. When students only attempt work that they know, they're not extending themselves and they're limiting their own learning. Making mistakes and attempting things they've never done will increase learning and increase confidence. If you'd like to learn more about the benefits of modelling mistakes for your students and how they can learn from them, please check out our video on making mistakes. One of the most empowering things that you can teach your students is how to be comfortable with mistakes, teaching students that learning can be hard, that it involves taking risks, and making mistakes will help students keep going and keep trying when they find the learning difficult. It will also help them to develop resilience and greater understanding of themselves. Number 3, develop graduated tasks or worksheets. Instead of creating different tasks or worksheets for different students, which can also have social implications and a greater time commitment from the teacher, consider one workshop or one task with progressively more difficult challenges. The capable students will quickly move on to the more challenging tasks, while the less able students can take their time to understand the basics. This strategy is also likely to encourage students to have a go at a concept or skill that you may not think that they're ready for. And that will happen because they're being exposed to different things. Number 4, provide choice. Giving students a choice of activities and assessment pieces, for example, written, spoken, video, PowerPoint presentations, storyboards, mind maps, all allow students to decide what they're going to do to present their learning and help them to use different mediums to do that. Choice promotes autonomy, which has been proven by research to increase motivation. Number 5, use a variety of resources. Provide students with a variety of resource materials to access the learning. For example, you could have some simpler texts with illustrations, some more difficult and complex text, online materials such as videos or YouTube clips, and they help to support students who learn in different ways. When you provide a variety of ways for students to access the material, they're more likely to choose something that will suit their style of learning, and they're more likely to be engaged with that material. Students could listen to the information in a large group or work with a small group in a more interactive way. They could also learn from each other in a peer tutoring activity and allow students to choose the most effective method for themselves by giving them access to lots of ideas. Number 6, early finisher activities. Have some additional interesting, challenging tasks for students who finish early so that you can assist the students who may need more time. Make sure these early finisher tasks are purposeful, engaging, and not just busy work. Consider a whole class art project, such as weaving or painting, that kids can work on when they finish academic tasks. Giving kids a brain break in this way will increase the effectiveness of all learning. Number 7, teach students to be self-directed learners. 80% of students are capable of being self-directed with their learning if they're taught how and given the opportunity. This provides you then with the time to assist those 20% of students who need additional support or individualised instruction. Number 8, formative assessment. Use regular formative assessment to evaluate where students are in their learning and then adapt your teaching to their needs. This is differentiated learning at its best, and you can find lots of differentiation and formative assessment ideas in my book, Habits of Highly Effective Teachers, and also Dylan Williams' work gives lots of ideas around how to use formative assessment for your students. Number 9, cooperative learning. Incorporating cooperative learning strategies by using groups, pairs, kids working together, and also consider having small mixed ability groups for tasks. You can use think, pair, share in most lessons, and it's one of the simplest strategies to implement, and the benefits are numerous. When you use groups with students, give students defined roles within those groups and explicitly teach them how to fulfill each of their role descriptions. You can check out Kagan Cooperative Learning Strategies for some of these ideas. Number 10, find out the learning styles of your students. Discover what learning styles your students work best with and use the information for your planning and for students to gain a greater understanding of how they learn. Ralph Perozzo has developed numerous ideas in a matrix format that has Bloom's taxonomy on one axis and learning styles on the other. And these create some great student-centered learning activities that you could use in your classroom. And 10A, I've got as using heterogeneous groups. So when you group kids, think about grouping them according to their interests or according to their learning styles rather than always putting them in ability groups. Kids learn much better from each other when they're in mixed ability groups rather than all the same. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and happy teaching.